In this episode of Home Theater Geeks, I answer a listener question about in-ceiling speakers and Atmos. So stay tuned.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hey there, Scott Wilkinson here, the Home Theater Geek. In this episode, I answer a question from Rajesh Goel, who writes, I am in the process of buying a new home, and the builder offers a speaker installation with 5 in-ceiling speakers. They use Origin Acoustics D85 speakers, 3 in the front and 2 in the back. These are directional speakers aimed at the listener. If I want an Atmos experience, what are my best options? 1, for quality, and 2, with fewest changes to the builder specification. If I add 2 speakers very close to the wall where the TV is installed, would that give me a good Atmos experience? Other suggestions? Well, thanks, Rajesh. This is a great question, and it's a situation that I believe many people face. Now, Origin Acoustics makes really good what are called architectural speakers, that is, in-wall or in-ceiling. So it's a good start. And the 3-way D85 does, in fact, have aimable tweeter and mid-range. So here we see a picture of it from straight on, and there's also a picture of it sort of at an angle, and you can see that that gets inserted into a hole in your ceiling, and the tweeter and the mid-range, which are in the center there, can be aimed toward the listener. It also has a very respectable frequency response as specified by Origin, which is from 36 hertz up to 20 kilohertz, which that's very low. It's got an 8-inch woofer, and I'm sure that 36 hertz is not as loud. It's down some number of dBs, and Origin didn't specify. I do wish that your builder offered the option of installing in-wall speakers around the TV. Having the front sound come from around the TV is much better than having it come from above. Even if the front speakers are aimable, Origin offers quite a few in-wall speakers. So if that's an option, I'd see if the builder can do that. Install the front, left, center, and right speakers in the wall around the screen rather than in the ceiling. Now, if that's not an option, I'd have the builder, well, if you can, if the builder will do it, the best approach will be to install 2 more DB85s directly above the listening position. I would definitely not put them in the wall or in the ceiling right next to the wall where the TV is. The whole point of Atmos is to have sounds that are supposed to be coming from overhead, like, say, rain or something flying overhead. They should sound like they're coming from directly overhead. The speakers near the TV wall would not achieve that. So I would definitely not do that. So adding 2 DB85s above the listening position would give you a system called 5.0.2. So that's 5 main speakers, no subwoofers. You didn't mention anything about subwoofers. And 2 directly overhead, which would be for the Atmos. Now, speaking of subwoofers, I would recommend that you think about adding 1 or 2 subwoofers to the setup. The DB85 goes down to 36 hertz, which is quite remarkable. But I bet at that low frequency, it's not very loud. I would want a sub to add a little extra low frequency oomph. Now, Origin does make architectural subwoofers, in-wall and in-ceiling. And in fact, I've put a few pictures here. Here's a couple of in-ceiling models that are these big boxes that attach to vents that are mounted in the ceiling, and the sound comes out there. There's also another one that's more direct, that just is like the DB85 but bigger, and it goes up into the wall. However, I would say that getting standalone subwoofers would be better. And it would be much easier to install them without disturbing the builder's plan. Now, these speakers, these in-wall and in-ceiling speakers, require an external power amp, for one thing. So buying a standalone subwoofer, powered subwoofer, would be easier in that regard as well. And you could place them wherever they needed to be in the room to achieve optimal performance and minimize room modes. With these in-wall and in-ceiling speakers, they're fixed. They're where they are, and they might work or they might not. Here's a couple of in-wall versions. Now, they'll work, but will they work to minimize the room modes? Probably not. At least they won't be ideal. Now, of course, having a standalone subwoofer or two means having a big box sitting on the floor in the room. You or your spouse might not want that. But if you're more interested in performance, it's going to give you better performance. So Origin offers several of these as well. They offer the deep subs, what they call the deep subs, that are specified down to 30 hertz. And the main differences are size and amplifier power. These are probably the ones I would consider, but I just wanted to show you that Origin also makes some larger ones that they call the performance subs, which go lower. The largest one, the 12-inch, goes down to 21 hertz. And they make one slim sub, which is the Sub S10, which has a 10-inch driver. It's spec'd down to 35 hertz, less than 5 inches deep. It can be freestanding or it can be mounted on the wall, not in the wall, but hung on the wall, essentially. Now, what I'd recommend of these Origin subs is I'd get the smallest one of the deeps, or the smallest one that's appropriate to the size of your room. Even better, I'd get two small ones, say 2 deep 8s or 2 10s, which lets you place them to minimize strong room modes. Now, the Origin subs are pretty expensive. The Sub D8, the Deep 8, is just under $1,000, and the Sub D10 is around $1,300. Now, subwoofers I'm not so concerned about getting them from the same company as I am the main speakers. I think you should stay with the same company and the same line, the same model if possible, for the main speakers and the Atmos speakers. But the subs don't matter that much. And there are a bunch of good companies. You could get good subs for less than $1,000. Those companies include SVS, RSL, REL, Q Acoustics, Stark Sound, and SHU, HSU, named for the founder of the company. In particular, I would draw your attention to the RSL Speedwoofer 10E. It lands on a bunch of best of lists, and it's only $300, which is really, really quite impressive. You could get two of those for less than the cost of one of Origin's Sub D8s. Another one I would recommend is from SVS. It's the SB1000, and that's $600. And the Stark SW15 is also $600, and I love both SVS and Stark Sound as companies, and their products are really, really good. So I would recommend that you look at getting ideally 2 of those so that you can place them where they need to be to really get great performance. They don't need to be loud. You just want them to support the low end. And I think you would be really, really happy with that. Then with those Atmos speakers that I talked about earlier, you'd have a 5.1.2 or a 5.2.2 system, and that would be pretty awesome. So best of luck to you. Now, if you have a question for me, send it on along to htg@twit.tv, and I'll answer as many as I can right here on the show. And if you have a home theater that you're proud of, send me some pics. Love to see them and maybe get you on the show to talk about it. Until next time, geek out.
Hey everybody, Leo Laporte here, and I'm going to bug you one more time to join Club TWiT. If you're not already a member, I want to encourage you to support what we do here at TWiT. 25% of our operating costs comes from membership in the club. That's a huge portion, and it's growing all the time. That means we can do more, we can have more fun. You get a lot of benefits, ad-free versions of all the shows. You get access to the Club TWiT Discord and special programming like the keynotes from Apple and Google and Microsoft and others that we don't stream otherwise in public. Please join the club. If you haven't done it yet, we'd love to have you. Find out more at twit.tv/clubtwit, and thank you so much.